Welcome, addicts, to the ever ensuing hilarity that is the Pop Culture Pod, aka the PCP. I'm Carl Rowland. Joining me as always is Chappers.
You're never going to let it go, are you?
Nope.
This stuff again?
Yeah, he's Chappers.
Is that just your name now?
But apparently,
Oh, well, while I introduce him, it's Chappers.
it's always going to be Chappers now. Your
No.
faithful manservant.
With me as always, my partner in crime, Dan Chapman.
Hello.
And this is One for Paul, so joining us and riding the boards.
Paul.
That's a handy coincidence, isn't it?
This is our One for Paul episode, and we are reviewing So I Married an Axe Murderer.
You're going to have a tough time replacing me on this segment.
Yes, yes, we are. But
Not like you can rename the segment.
perish the thought, dear.
I mean, that's what the audience craves, is segments.
Segments.
Yeah.
They do like a segment.
I prefer slices.
But we are reviewing So I Married an Axe Murderer, released in 1991, starring Mike Myers, which is you on our previous episode named Hedberg in the Cloud. Listen to it; it'll make sense.
It didn't really.
I liked it.
It was a good episode, but the idea that it made sense is...
I meant the title once you listen to it.
Was it 1991? I thought it was 1993.
I might be wrong. It might be 93. Is it 93?
early 90s.
I think it's 93. Yeah.
93. But it does star Mike Myers. That I got right.
That is true, yes. Well done. So you get a point. I'll mark this down quickly. Carl gets 1 point.
Playing himself and his father.
Which is brilliant.
Well, not himself. He plays Charlie.
I was going to say, he doesn't play Mike Myers. He
I
plays
wish.
Charlie someone.
Well, actually, the dad is based on his
Yeah, the
actual
dad,
father.
the mannerisms and how the dad reacts is based on Mike Myers' real father.
But
Because
his dad was British and Cockney.
when they originally start rehearsing it, they didn't have anybody in mind for the dad. So Mike Myers would just read the lines of the dad in the accent, and he had all the rest of the cast and the crew cracking up the laughter.
Though we spoke about it off mic, I think they actually did reach out to Billy Connolly at one point to play the dad.
I think it might have been, yeah.
Because they wanted a Scottish actor.
I'll tell you what, right? Before we get into it, is what Paul thought about it. I love the casting of this. I think the casting on this movie is absolutely superb.
Oh, yeah, it's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
That concludes one for Dan and also one for Carl.
Oh, I could go much further into detail on this movie.
That's fine. We've concluded the segment.
But, so we'll ask the question. Paul, what do you reckon? What happened?
Well, I mean, before we get into that...
Of this 90s spoof of Scream that you thought it was going to be.
I really had no idea going into this what it was. So I figured, like, this is a piss take of a horror movie in the vein of Scream. It's very not that.
Yeah.
But it's 3 years before Scream.
I didn't know that. Yeah. I thought it was in the vein of, like, horror movie tropes, like there's an axe murderer and this and that. Yeah, that's what I thought I was going to get.
The title is slightly misleading, and until you watch it, then it makes 100% sense.
I'm going to get into that because I have notes on that. Mm-hmm. Guys, I have like 5 pages of notes. That's like, that should tell you how thorough. So,
I'm glad you cleared your schedule.
I've got like 3 pages of notes, but that's only because I've got really, really big letters.
I have no notes. This is fine. The one show where I don't bring notes.
Yeah, it's because you've already internalized this movie to the point where you could quote it exactly in order according to all the characters. By the way, go.
All right, if we're starting out, excuse me, I ordered the large cappuccino.
No, you need to sing that song first.
Oh,
the 90s
there
rock.
She goes.
Version
there she goes.
Stop. We don't have clearance for this. Stop it. We have to sing that song.
One more line, we have to pay them some money.
Yeah, pretty much.
We've now 30 just seconds, I checked.
Yeah. Yes and no. Fair use is a thing. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
So we open the scene on a coffee shop that's only slightly less pretentious than most of Shoreditch. License plates on the wall, random street light in there, bizarrely large crowd in attendance for a beat poetry night, frankly. Also, is that...
Proof that this is a work of fiction.
Well, this is San Francisco in the early 90s, so...
The 90s were a different time,
yeah.
I guess. Also, is that Carrot Top before he got swole?
No, that's not Carrot Top. But he's a character actor, but it's not Carrot Top.
Oh, okay, because I thought, like, has he not always been gigantic? He's got the hair. Anyway, not a big thing. So in the setup, Mike Myers, Charlie, is looking for love, but constantly paranoid that his various girlfriends are thieves in the mafia, etc., which
smell like soup.
Except for Pam, evidently, who smelled like soup. Exactly like beef vegetable soup, according to Charlie.
You see, I get baked vegetable soup quite a bit for lunch. I don't generally mind that smell. It wouldn't turn me off that if I was with a partner who smelled like beef and vegetable soup.
So, ladies, welcome to the connection hour of the PCP. Carl's looking for you if you smell like bouillon. Beef bouillon.
I am lonely. But moving swiftly on.
So this is where I have to start the game I'm going to call Rom-Com Bingo.
Okay, go on.
For those of you not watching, Dan is now losing his shit.
I think you just hit. I think you just hit him where he lives.
Oh, that's it. That's going to be a new thing now. Rom-com bingo. We're doing that, Paul. While we watch Don't Tell the Bride. Carl, you're also invited.
Which will be our next one for Carl, I think. We got to get him watching wedding dress shows.
I'm not watching them. I've watched them. Don't like them.
So Rom-Com Bingo, Man is Afraid of Commitment. Okay. Supposedly ironic 1950s throwback beat poetry jazz stuff popular in the 90s?
I would say around,
I'd say there was a scene. Yeah, it was a scene for that in the 90s.
I don't remember that.
They do reference it in like other shows like How I Met Your Mother and stuff like that. There was a beatnik culture.
Maybe in California? I don't know.
Well, San Francisco, I think there pretty much still is a beatnik culture.
I don't know California at all, so I'll bow to your knowledge on that one.
Just quickly, I'll just look something up. Paul's correct. That is Carrot Top.
Really?
That's actually
Carrot Top.
I could have sworn, yeah.
I could have. That's not Carrot Top at the beginning of that movie.
It's Carrot Top.
It is Carrot Top, evidently.
I did a Google. I gave it a Googs, mate. I gave it a Googs. It was Carrot Top.
Nicely googed.
Thank you, sir. I'm proud of my
face
Googs.
has changed dramatically.
Yeah, seriously, he's swole now.
I know he got jacked. I've seen those photos.
Yeah.
Has he got any funnier, or has he got funny?
Well, he's a bit screwed whenever he travels doing his prop comedy stuff and his prop trunk gets lost on airways. But other than that,
so yeah, that band is better than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
So those are some good jazz guys. I like that.
So we're also set up in this meeting that Charlie is bringing his friend, who is the best undercover detective ever.
Yeah, he looks exactly like an undercover detective. He's not undercover though. He's just at a bar or coffee shop.
There's supposed to be that he was supposed to be undercover and met Charlie that evening. That's why he's dressed like that.
Oh, I see. So he was just bad at his job.
Yeah, he's just bad.
Yeah,
at his job.
that's like the running joke throughout the movie. Is he wants to be the super action cop, but he's not.
I should note also that so far my experience of cult movies between Big Trouble in Little China and this is that every cult movie is based in San Francisco.
We didn't mean that when we started, but a lot of it happens.
Yeah, it's true.
I guess it's a popular setting for people making.
Or it's got
movies.
a really good tax incentive.
It did actually for a while. I'll tell you something else as well. You know the car that Charlie drives, the Volkswagen. That is the same car from Sneakers, which was also a relatively cult movie set in around San Francisco.
Yeah, it was indeed. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So yeah, the butcher lady is introduced by one of my favorite shots in the movie, which like prominently center screen is meat hooks. Behind her through a door is like a lamb carcass, and she comes out covered in blood. And I'm just like, this is where the title starts paying dividends.
Yeah.
Because in any other movie, you'd be like, that was a weirdly framed shot. In this one, you're like, they're telling me something. A clue, Sherlock.
Quickly.
So that's it. It's brilliant. I mean, if you didn't have that title or a title similar to it, I would never.
Oh yeah, it would throw you off.
So I thought this is automatically like, okay, I understand what they're doing and I'm in.
Nice.
This is fun. I like this. It's really interesting because I'm not used to the title being a misdirect.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But also, it's quite literally a meet cute. Think about it.
You know what? I've never thought about that before.
Oh, what now?
It's a meet cute. That's like when it's a term used when you meet together and like a spark happens
in film in Spark, usually in rom-com. So rom-com bingo, that would be 1
so
point.
it's quite literally a meet cute.
I missed a square on my rom-com bingo.
I missed that completely, dear. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Well done.
But also it's just nice to hear the reference of haggis in a movie.
Do all Scottish people like haggis?
Oh, that's later on. That's the next day. We have to now go and meet our favourite character, Dan, and introduced lovely by the Bay City Rollers.
Oh God, I hate the Bay City Rollers.
Oh, I've played them while I've DJed because I love this movie so much.
Yeah, so evidently Scottish people refer to football as soccer.
That is Michael Myers, and he's Canadian.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
Yeah,
I know. But also he's doing it for an American audience, so I'm going to forgive that. But at the same time, it's like it's not a Scottish accent. It's Mike Myers putting on a Scottish accent. It's Shrek.
I think it would be funny. I just think it's funny because him saying soccer in a Scottish accent is hilarious.
It is quite funny.
But yeah, again, that's the basis of Shrek. Why he chose that Scottish accent, that roughly Scottish accent for Shrek, also, because it's more humorous.
But also, we're seeing. This was before Austin Powers, wasn't it?
Yeah. 2 years before Austin Powers.
Yeah, so this is just Fat Bastard.
This is the I was going to
This
bring
is
that
the
up.
precursor.
It was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
precursor to Fat Bastard. Yes.
Yeah, so Mike Myers seen here having far too much fun as a shouty Scottish man,
Yes.
which, as we all know, is the best character in everything.
Doing a Highland jig to the Bay City Rollers.
You know that match they're watching, that soccer match that they're watching.
I was part of the World Cup, the World Series, or the World Series of Soccer, which is the World Cup.
It was Scotland. Scotland won that match. They won it 1-0. It was a friendly that took place in Denver, Colorado, at the Mile High Stadium, and they won it. It was a friendly. It was like a training thing, yeah.
That's super cool.
And that was played like literally just before this movie came out,
All right.
which is really, really cool, I think.
Huh.
So it's trying to say it. So it's
Yeah,
So that must have been
around
one
that time period. So the match would be not in people's mind, but people who followed soccer would know it's a
Yeah.
recent match.
So that must have been one of the last shots they put in. Then
yeah.
that's cool.
And the reason that the detective keeps losing his shit is because Mike Myers is going off.
Yeah,
script.
I mean, this is where I'm looking at it going like, this is just they let Mike have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
like far too much fun.
Well, there's an interesting thing about that, but I'll get to that in
Sure,
a bit.
yeah.
Actually, I've got
So
a cool little point about that.
before
but
we
I'll
do
leave it.
that, we need to go over some of the lines that Shouty Man has. I know that you guys have a favorite, so why don't we get that out of the way? Get it out of your systems.
Which one would you like to do?
Do it.
Would you want me
It's
to do?
the one that we bonded over. I heard you say it in a pub.
What? Hid Dune.
Well, it's not head down; it's head move.
He'd move. Fetch the
No,
paper
it's
if you can.
it's down.
Does he
Like,
say
it's
it?
down
It's
later
Dune
on.
first
But not
and then
in this
move
scene.
later.
Yeah, I
But-
quite liked. It's like an orange on a toothpick.
Yeah, look at that.
It looks
like
like,
an orange on a
Sputnik,
toothpick.
smooth but quite pointy,
Punty
in
in
parts.
places.
Oh, that was a bit harsh, wasn't it? He's
Oh,
going to cry
himself
himself to sleep tonight in his huge pillar.
It's when I see them actually cracking up.
Stop! You're gonna give the kid a complex.
I love that scene between those two. I think
It's-
that's a lovely moment of interaction. It's honest comedy, is what
Yeah.
it is. It's honestly like almost buddies having fun. Meanwhile, one of the buddies is like, "You are such a dick."
Yeah. Like,
Right.
how dare you do this to me? I'm trying to be a professional actor here.
But obviously,
Right.
Charlie goes into the kitchen with his mum, and,
Oh,
and she's juicing everything.
Mum seen here not helping.
Juicing everything.
She's on a juice diet
Yeah.
because that never went away.
Oh, what's the name of the paper? I've got the name of the paper she's reading.
Daily Stars. I didn't
No.
take note.
It's the like the Daily Inquirer.
Oh, the weekly Inquirer, the
Yeah.
Weekly World or something.
Something like that.
She's on the Weekly World Garth Brooks juice diet.
Yeah, that's it.
And then, Mom, why are you referring to the weekly news as the paper?
That's a good line. I'm going to use that. Yeah, so There She Goes is clearly the theme tune of this song.
Yeah.
Because this plays throughout. This is like the second
They didn't
time.
have a great license for music on this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
So There
Slightly
She
under
Goes is used quite a bit.
Yeah, slightly under budgeted. They could afford one song.
Well, they could afford one song and then a cover song of that song,
Yeah.
which I found actually quite charming in a way.
There's two other songs that are sung by cast in this movie, but we'll get to those
Yeah.
as they happen.
Yeah. So,
But just right at that moment in time, you get like the setup of his family, don't you? You can see like where obviously there's a hierarchy, there's like a patriarchy. The dad's in charge, but is he really in charge? It's the mum.
no,
And
he's not in charge.
He's not in charge at all, and that's what I like about it. He's got that lovely little, just gives you an insight into that family, makes the character seem a bit realer.
Charlie's got a little brother whose only line of dialogue in the entire movie is "Hey Charlie."
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know what he's credited as well?
Heed.
Yeah, just Heat. not his full name. Not
William's the character.
William's the character, so it's not William,
Yeah.
Mackenzie. It's Heed.
It's not even head, it's heed.
Heed.
Hed. Heed.
Heed.
Oh,
As in
Heed.
Heed the bar.
Oh my lord. All right. So that's a... I'd love to see that on his portfolio later. Yes, I played Heed in the popular...
He's done quite a few things. The kid was a
Yeah,
child
he's been
actor. He's been in a few things.
Oh, sure, yeah. I'm just saying, like, how great would that be? It's just like, so what have you been in before? Well, let me tell you.
Well, sit down. Let me spin you a yarn. I used to be Heed.
Yeah.
We also are introduced to the Weekly World News story about
Mrs. X.
Mrs. X.
Yes.
The woman who has dated and met 3 people and they've all died
On the honeymoon, isn't
on their
it?
honeymoon.
In suspicious circumstances. So yeah, the police captain is super. Oh no. There's a first bit first where they do a slight montage thing. Potential love interest butcher lady is presented as a literal milkmaid with like the Dutch hat thing that they got in all the paintings, and it's just it could not be more on the nose. But again, because of the title misdirecting me, I'm like, is this also misdirection?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not sure what to believe. So I'm like, okay, so maybe not. Who knows? Yeah, so the police captain has a problem, and his problem is that he's far too nice.
Yes.
He's not like those detectives in the movies. He's like a real detective who cares very deeply about his men.
He is the nicest boss I've seen in a movie
Ever.
in a long time.
He's like what? He's
Can't
like
you
a
come in
normal
and-
boss.
Yeah.
He's like a normal sort of like, I care about my department and I want my police officers to be comfortable at work and to do well, and I want to advance them, and I
You-
want to
you
run a
never
great
tell me-
department here.
You never tell me the commissioner's up your ass. It's like, well, I don't report
I
to a
don't
commissioner. I
report to a
report to a
commissioner.
panel of
A quorum, if you will.
Some elected and some non-elected officials. A quorum, if you will. A
Yeah.
quorum? Yeah, it's a quorum.
A quorum, like the,
But I
the
just want you
snay.
to. I just want you to yell at me, or like, to tell me off. Stuff like, oh, do you need a hug?
It's a great scene. That comes up later too, which I love, but we're gonna get there.
The rebuttal later.
Yeah,
on
we're gonna
is-
get
is
there.
Stellar. But we are moving on to Charlie going back to the butcher shop.
Yeah, butcher shop here, seen paying zero attention to health and safety laws. The 90s were a different time.
Oh yes.
No gloves, no
This is
hairband things.
This is before the hot coffee incident at the free hot coffee incident at
Yeah.
McDonald's. So,
Okay, serious note. You know what the fuck happened to that lady?
oh no, I know.
Like it
I've seen the Adam
spoils everything.
Yeah,
Like that's horrifying. So
Yeah.
not only pre that, but like evidently pre any food safety. The
It was-
FDA
it was-
should be up their ass.
it was
is
Some
what I'm
kind
saying.
of health and safety legislation would be needed.
Even in 1991, the
Do you know
FDA
she-
needs to be up their ass.
Do you know actually cut the tip of her finger off?
yeah.
No, I didn't know that. Like in that scene.
In that scene where she's chopping vegetables and Mike Myers is going all ad
Oh,
and everything,
no.
she legitimately cut the top of her. I think it's her right middle finger.
Yeah,
off.
right middle finger.
So when she's yelling cut, 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 like obviously what you don't see in the movie, but she's yelling cut, cut,
Yeah,
cut.
yeah.
They thought she was like telling the director they wanted to stop the scene, but she's like, no, I've cut the tip of my finger off. Now, luckily they rushed her to
Yeah.
the nearest hospital and she got sewed back on. But yeah, she legitimately cut the tip of her finger off there.
Because I'm sure I see a bandage on her finger a lot later on.
There's a
Which actually I thought was just a nice like touch. Like she works as a butcher
Exactly,
shop.
yeah.
Sometimes you might cut your finger.
And
you
again,
know?
there's little things in this movie that I really love because
The
it kind
attention
of
to
grounds
detail.
them more in.
apparently she cut her finger bit when he's doing the chest burster.
Yeah.
Is what I've heard.
Yeah. So again, it's this is just them having far too much
This
fun.
is Mike Myers having a laugh.
This is the director looked at Mike and said, "Mike, here is a pile of meat. You're supposed to be falling in love with this girl. Go."
Go
and
hog
they
wild.
just kept the cameras on them.
It works
Yeah.
Evidently, yeah.
because they went for a lovely date afterwards.
Yes.
They did, yeah. Yeah. Side note, meat is not only delicious and nutritious, it's also hilarious and sexy.
Yeah.
He's got there's a sausage stuffing scene in there, man.
Well,
I
that-
can sexualize pretty much anything. So, yeah, I agree with Paul. Sausages are sexy.
To be fair, lads, if you don't like a couple of breasts and a nice fire every now and again, me and you are on the wrong podcast.
There's nothing wrong with liking a wiener either. Or some buns.
Oh, buns.
Mm.
No.
The
We brought
hind
up buns
flank.
last. I also owe you an apology, Paul, for the telling off because I didn't realise. The only reason I told you off about Leia is because I said it jokingly and you tried to make it dirty. That's why I told you off. On the
What
last
did I
episode.
say about buns?
Because I said, and Leia's all buns, and you went, yeah, Leia's all bun. I went, she is a princess. You will teach her with respect.
No, I got that.
I know. But afterwards, it sounds like I pissed you off, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. No, that's
Maybe
just
I-
me personally. I must remember reading and stuff.
I have resting bitch voice. It's fine.
Oh, yeah.
See, look, we do love each other
Kind of.
all the time. While we're playing with
But
our sausages.
they're laughing and guffawing and
Yeah.
having fun. And then two Russian Navymen
Yeah,
interrupt and start cussing people out.
talking in Russian.
Yeah. And then
Well, they don't
she-
cuss him out. They look at her and say something like, "Hey, there's a hot piece of ass."
Yeah, and she replies to him in Russian.
Yeah, in Russian, and that's the first item on the list of things Mrs.
So
X.
Russian martial arts expert.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
a Russian lounge singer whose trick was singing Only You in multiple languages.
Yes.
Yeah, he was particularly known for that.
The second was a martial arts expert in a different town. Can't remember the
Something
town.
like that. That comes.
And
up
the
later,
third
but
one
whatever.
was a plumber called Ralph.
Yeah.
Once again, the title shows the scene whose boss as the two of them have a walk, and she avoids a question about the worst thing she's ever done with the proviso, and it better be evil.
Yeah.
Evil.
So evil that it's evil.
Yeah. Yes. Evil.
Like the devils.
Like
Fruits.
the devil.
Devils.
Like the devil's fruit.
Fruit of evil.
Fruit of the devil. Yeah. Anyway, I think we just butchered that line in every possible...
Good. She'd appreciate that,
as-
being a butcher.
Huh?
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, what? They can't all be gems.
No, they can't.
On an occasion.
To be fair, that joke was tripe.
That's just all.
If it
And you
wasn't,
keep bringing it back. That's wonderful. that gets a doctor. Doctor.
Doctor. And he beat me to it. Cole just beat me to it. He went, yeah, that was awful. Damn it.
Yeah. That's because of the doctor.
See, I made a pig's ear of that one.
Right, so in this scene, the director just looks at Dan and says, okay, Dan, so you're trying to get this girl and make funny things happen with meat. Go.
Oh, like some sort of weird gravy-filled balloon animal.
It's just going to be sick. You sticking a link of sausage out of your trousers, going, "Hey, ladies."
He links his own, don't you know?
Yeah, we'll
I
get
do.
to that. But then it's Then we're moving on to.
But yeah, the line here that I was thinking of is, how many people have you brutally murdered? Brutal is a very subjective term. No, no, that's not the answer to that. The answer to that is 0. That's the number of people that you've brutally murdered. 0 people.
brutal's a strong term, though. But they go back to her. Why am I spacing on her name?
Harriet.
Harriet's apartment, and you get to see. Do you know what that apartment needed? A big poster of San Francisco.
Do you get the Harriet thing, though?
Yeah.
Harriet.
Yeah.
Hatchet.
Yeah. I get it.
Alright.
It's just I forgot her name for a second.
Oh, it's Harriet.
Harriet.
Also, the poster is Atlantic City.
Oh, my bad. Oh, they're in San Francisco.
They're in San Francisco. She lived in Atlantic City, which is where Mrs. X came from.
Dun,
Dun, dun. And she has all the martial arts stuff from a former roommate. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, fortunately, Mike can carry himself just fine because his training in Scottish martial arts.
Fuck you!
Yeah, mostly it's just headbutting, then keep kicking people when they're down.
Yeah.
So Captain Foreshadowing talks in her sleep.
Ralph!
Yeah, Ralph is the lady, huh? She. Got it. Also, Tidy Whities, unambiguously the funniest underpants.
Oh, yes.
Agreed? Yeah. Rom-com bingo, wrong person in the shower.
That's her sister Rose,
Yep.
who is kooky. Are we going
She's
kooky?
she's
kooky.
eccentric.
Eccentric.
She's a bit odd.
I mean, to be fair,
Delightfully off.
She makes some breakfast, though.
if I was offered, silver dollar pancakes, bacon, and grapefruit, I'd stick around for Fruit Loops as well.
Unfortunately, she didn't have any of those things.
Yeah, we've all been there. We've all offered people food that we've not had.
Also, hello is a punchline. The 90s were a different time.
Hello. It's Mike Myers. That anything he says in that tone of voice is a punchline. That's why I love the man so much.
Hey,
Yeah.
look, I too care for Applejacks a great deal.
Yeah.
Love that.
You
scene.
can't even find those in the UK. Where the hell are you guys getting Apple Jacks?
American Sweet Shops.
Amazon.
Okay.
The net.
Cha, get the net.
We've met Rose, and now
Well, now we're going to Alcatraz.
Oh, yeah.
Park Ranger Vicky. Where have I heard this guy's voice?
John
Is it
Johnson.
everywhere?
That is the late great Phil Harmon. He was on SNL. He was also Lionel Hutz, attorney at law.
That's the voice.
I think you
And-
might know me as
Yes,
Troy McClure.
You may remember me
That's
from such
him.
movies as. But
That's Troy McClure. Damn it. I knew it.
The decapitation
Phil
of little Johnny Leadfoot and Alice's adventures through the windshield glass. I'm here to talk to you about road safety.
That's amazing. Yeah. So his voice, the whole time he was on screen, I was just like, who is this guy?
See,
Why
this-
have I heard him?
This is what I was saying earlier on about the cast being absolutely fantastic, because the people that pop up, they've been in loads of stuff later on as well, and a lot of them were that almost kind of Saturday Night Live alumni as well, so they're all funny in their own right. But a lot of the younger
Myers
actors...
is SCTV, Phil Harmon is SNL.
But like the younger actors went on to more and more stuff as they got older, so it's like a really
Sadly,
good
not so much with Phil Harmon.
No, unfortunately not with Phil Hartman. But I mean, he had an incredible run anyway
He had a great run,
before
but
he was taken from us.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
love the fact that his name's John Johnson. They call me Vicky.
they call me Vicky. Oh, Vicky's the best.
Yeah, so this is a weird place to have a sincere conversation about relationships.
I think it's one of those things is like we want to make it 100% clear this movie took place in San Francisco.
I think it's like we have the rights, so like if we don't film a scene there, we're kind of dumb.
So no, it was great, and also the story that Vicky tells about the inmates.
Oh, it was a Machine Gun Kelly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Interesting side note. Machine Gun Kelly, while he was in here, he had a thing called a prison bitch. And
Yeah,
day
so
his
anything
prison
about
bitch-
Harriet. And then he just stares at him for like a full 30 seconds. This movie has a really good use of silence, I
Yeah.
find, which is unusual in sort of the movies of the past 20 years or so. So I really appreciate that. Yeah, so we go into a
It's
dating
also
montage.
not soundtrack heavy, considering.
Not very, no.
Yeah.
No, the soundtrack is really well chosen, even if they didn't have a lot of rights. But yeah, it sounded real good.
I'd really so
So dating montage, made up entirely of like be real improvised scenes that they couldn't use from other scenes. I
Of
guarantee you.
Yes.
Right? There's even scenes of like clearly they're just cracking up because Mike said something.
Mhm.
Right? And that's the scene.
exposition.
It's not even exposition, it's just a montage, right?
There's nothing wrong with a montage. This is the 90s, after all.
I mean, I miss a good montage, right? I
Oh,
think a
yeah.
montage is an underused tool in the filmmaker's kit right now because the whole 90s, everyone was like, oh, yeah, you know what this needs? 3 montages.
Yeah, a lot of linear storytelling doesn't have them as much, but quite a few coming of age and still training stories still have.
I mean, I
good
guess
montage.
anytime you need to show a lot
Passage.
of time passing, not like a day. You don't do a montage for a day. I guess you could, but it's unusual. This is for like a month passes and you need to see the development in that month.
Mm.
So
they are moving forward in their relationship.
Yeah.
yeah, the police guy's date doesn't understand how humor works.
Hey, that's Deborah Messer.
I know, yeah, but like the characters, like electrocution. That's the funny thing. I'm like, oh shit, Bill, please. Thanks.
I think
she just kills the joke right
I do
there.
like
I love
Harriet's
it.
one though. You go to your favorite restaurant, you order your favorite food. It's finally put in front of you. You haven't eaten all day, and then there's a.
There's a scabby band-aid.
A scabby
on the
Band-Aid.
steak. Yeah.
I'd still eat it. If to be honest with you, not the Band-Aid. I'd take that out, but I'd still eat the burger or whatever.
Did you not order scabby band-aid specials?
To be fair, going back to what Paul said at the start of this episode, a scabby Band-Aid burger sounds like something you would get in Shoreditch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we literally have
but
a
it'll be a hip thing with kale.
Yeah.
we literally have a place called Dirty Burger,
Yeah.
which I will say is fabulous, and that's not they're not paying us. I just like their burgers. Fuck, I'm not going to be able
But
to go there anymore.
Dirty Burger, if you're listening, Dan will have a T-shirt.
I'll have a t-shirt.
No, he'll have a burger. Fuck, they don't make t-shirts, they make burgers. It's the only thing they make. They make
Oh.
one thing.
Not even fries.
I think they might have fries.
or an onion ring.
I don't think maybe. I don't know. The only
You
thing
can
I get
put
there is
onions
burgers.
in rings nowadays?
Mate, the internet.
Technology.
Ever since the internet, is everything's up for grabs.
Mind blown.
Yeah,
But,
so they decide to walk in the rain.
There and then,
Which is lovely.
but this is also leaning Charlie towards certain inklings
Yes.
because things are going too well. Charlie is
Far too well.
Charlie is one of those people that he breaks up with girls far too early because of a weird quirk, as we mentioned earlier, smelling like beef soup or
Yeah.
stealing his cat.
Also not helped by the sound design going like, we'll be together forever, 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 forever. Yeah, so they do that, and that's not all right. And again, this is the title just earning its keep all over the place because that in like a rom-com normal thing would just be like, oh, that's quite a sweet moment, a little overplayed, but
Yeah.
that's a sweet moment. In this case, it's like, shit, that's really sinister.
Yep.
Or is it? I don't know. This is kind of great. So yeah,
I'll be your girlfriend.
so we proceed straight on to the next square on our game of rom-com bingo. Meet the parents.
I love this.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Do you like your own sausage?
No. It's the bit preceding that. Is Stu comes out the bathroom, shooting in his braces up, and goes to Harriet. Hi, I'm Charlie's dad, and she just puts a kung fu, wrenches his arm behind his back.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, you surprised me. And he just goes like, yeah, I like this one.
Hey.
Jeez, I like your filly.
I appreciate the level of violence you use against people you're not sure about, right?
That's the Scottish way.
That is the Scottish way.
No Basie rollers tonight, but they're obviously out come the baby photos.
Oh.
And Charlie's embarrassed and decides to excuse himself to the bathroom.
I'm just going to go to the washroom, okay? Evidently, I've got a pickle up my ass.
What have you got a pickle up your ass?
Yeah. Yeah, there's some great back and forth between Mike Myers and essentially himself.
Yeah,
Like,
they did that. They did
cool.
that with the old school like split screening idea. So film him talking to a marker, delivering his lines while somebody else delivered the return lines to him, and then filmed it again with him on the other side.
They still do that today.
Yeah, and it's just brilliantly interplayed with this. I love the fact that he plays him and his dad, but even though it's the same actor, and you can tell it's the same actor, they're two very different people, as it were.
Well, it's obvious. It's a transplant, isn't it? Because Charlie was most probably raised in San Francisco, and has always had what is technically an American accent,
Even though he's Canadian.
Even though he's Canadian.
it is a Canadian accent, but it's like a border accent. Right?
Yeah,
he's from Ontario, I think.
Yeah.
So
and with that, and obviously his dad came over from Scotland.
Yeah.
like real life Mike Myers.
Well,
did.
well, his dad's English, but
His dad, sorry?
his Mike Myers' actual dad's English.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Cockney.
He was a Cockney because he used to use Cockney rhyming slang around his son.
Yes,
and all
the Scottish of the South.
No, it's just like the example. It's from the Goldmember Extra Features when he's talking about fat bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just talking about not getting along with things. And when he was young, he's like, my dad would always tell me to go to run over the Frog and Toad and get a pack of Jockey Whips, which is go over the road and get me some chips.
Yeah.
But he's like, your dad just told you to go over a Frog and Toad and get a whip.
That's the the old apples
dad
and pears
is
and other
weird.
various fruits.
So yeah, rom-com bingo, couple awkwardly talking in the car.
Yeah.
But no, but it's before that is he goes into the bathroom and sees the article
yes.
about
Yeah.
Mr. X and realizes that
Which is our callback to the call to action to actual action this time, which I think is a nice little twist on the formula.
But he realizes that except for the Russian speaking one, the second one is the martial arts
dude.
expert from Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
And the fact she screamed out Ralph in her sleep.
Yeah, so all of the pieces seem to be
Slotting
piecing
into place.
together to this guy, and little red flags start going off in the back of his head over and over. Also, the Thigh Master is an inherently hilarious exercise device. Good job, SFX department, for the cartoony, like, whoop, 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 sort of sound that they had accompanying the, right? That sort of thing. I loved that. I was laughing out loud, had to pause it for a minute. It was great.
So at this point now in the movie,
You're having a laugh.
yeah,
I'm laughing. Yeah, I wasn't laughing for the first couple of scenes because I still didn't quite know what I was
you're
watching.
on uneven footing there, aren't you? Yeah.
Well, it's also really dry, especially for a Mike Myers production. It's super dry. There's no obvious laugh lines, I think, throughout. Maybe a few.
There's a few, but that's what I really liked about his early stuff was because he used to love Monty Python, and he still does love Monty Python. He talks about that British sense of humour is sometimes, like Basil Fawlty in Fawlty Towers, the drier and the slight sarcasm and the irony of it that some Americans don't get. Like some Americans think, the joke is literally the "take my wife, please," haha, that kind of thing. Whereas he,
Okay, Mr. Dangerfield.
thank you. Oh, hey, we're all gonna get laid. Whereas he enjoys the British kind of sensibility side of humour. Where it is dry, and I quite like that in this.
I think that's why I always liked his stuff, yeah. Because I grew up in Canada, like I got the American channel, sure, but I was always happiest watching Clive Anderson on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
Evidently, I would go to school like aged 8 or something, and the teacher would call up my mom and be like, "So he's been saying things," and she's like, "Oh my god, has he been swearing or something?" No, he's not. He's not saying anything wrong. He's just really like sardonic and quite. Like he's quite sarcastic and like looks for improv lines. Is he like? Where's he getting this? And she's like, I don't know.
But I do, yeah, no. Whose line is it? Sorry,
Classic.
Whose Line Is It Anyway? Is absolutely classic.
Yeah, this is pre Drew Carey too, so it was
Yeah.
still funny.
yeah.
Oh, the UK. Who,
Yeah,
The
we got
UK,
that
yeah,
in
yeah.
Canada because we got all the British stuff in,
well,
in the 90s.
it's actually, that was a bonding experience between me and my mum's boyfriend because I was playing Greg Proops' stand-up and we just started watching it together because he knows Greg Proop from Whose Line Is It Anyway.
So rom-com bingo, trust issues intensify.
Dun, dun, dun.
Charlie's watching it whilst using the Fire Master is hearing that most deaths nowadays are through poison,
Poison.
Yeah.
and then Harriet is nice enough to make him a fruit smoothie,
And they...
which looked delicious, by the way.
If you mute that scene and watch it again, it's oh yeah, have a drink. I'm like, oh no, that's weird. I'm sorry. And she's like, no, have a drink. What are you doing? I just made you a drink. Right? It's the most straightforward thing. The music behind it makes it like, Have a drink, dear.
Yeah.
Have a drink.
And
It's
how,
delicious.
And,
And
how
he's like,
she's
"Oh, no!"
and how she's talking and how it's spaced, broken up is very intense.
Incredible. Like, there's some horror chops to whoever made this thing. It's
And
kind
then
of great.
Charlie excuses himself into the closet, a clear glass closet,
Which is great. I would have a clear
He's
glass
literally in a
closet.
glass
Why not?
case of emotion.
and then literally
This
the
works on
entire,
levels.
At least the entire contents of an Oxfam continue. Then
I
completely
just
fills the
Descends
thing.
on him. Yeah.
I just imagined the happiest prop department in the world
Yeah.
above there, just pouring buckets of props onto him. It's wonderful. One of my favorite now. I think
What'll
bits
spook
of,
him? What'll hurt him? Just fill the box full of it. Come on.
It's
Right.
mainly cuddly toys. If you look
Yeah.
at it, it's
Yeah.
mainly cuddly toys.
Yeah, because they have to pour it onto an actor, and it's not going to be crazy stuff. Are you high? Like, you can't do it. So, yeah,
They reconcile,
Yeah.
have a bit of a cuddle.
yeah. Cool. So here we see the elusive wild Kramer. It's unusual to see one outside of its natural habitat. Normally, it's clinging onto the soft underbelly of the Jerry whale, feeding on the thin film of money on its skin.
Before saying words you can't say in a comedy club.
Yes. He fucked that good, didn't he?
He was so good in that scene, actually. Like,
was
I make
great.
fun. I
Yeah.
make fun because it's fun to make fun of Kramer, but man, that was good. So literally Kramer from Seinfeld shows up in a scene with another guy who I don't recognize, but I think I recognize.
He's been in other Mike Myers films. He's the station manager in Wayne's World and stuff like that.
Oh, him. Yeah.
But just before that, Charlie's at he's at a newspaper.
Yeah.
Because he's putting an advertisement
Yeah,
in the
this is
newspaper
where the
for
wild
his
Kramer
mum,
appears.
his mum and dad's 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
This is where the wild Kramer appears.
And obviously, he also overhears that the body of Ralph, Mrs. X, Ralph,
Mrs. X's Ralph, yeah, who's
has
the
been
plumber.
discovered.
So let's not ruin the scene because, like, actually, this is a
No, go.
great scene. You know what? People who are listening to this, they've seen the movie, haven't they?
Yeah, we.
Oh, yeah,
so.
we hope so.
Yeah. Because, I mean, what are you
This
doing
might be a
listening
bit-
to
a
a
little bit
full
late.
breakdown?
I mean, this might be a little bit late, but
warning,
warning:
we
Spoil everything.
we're about to spoil. We are currently in the midst of spoiling. So I Married an Axe Murderer. Warning: we spoil everything.
That was a very late time to say that. So if you have not yet been spoiled, there's actually some twists coming up, and nothing is obvious yet, which is kind of cool. There is a twist later, but they twist super late. So at this
Yeah.
point, we just went through some funny moments. We didn't spoil anything. We just went like, that was a funny bit. That's really all we're talking about. So, like, I don't think we need a spoiler warning yet. Even it's
I
weird.
don't think you really need one with a over 20-year-old movie, but
But it's still nice to say things in unison sometimes.
yeah,
also it's just easier than filling it on Twitter in the morning.
Yes.
true story.
Feel that one in the tweets.
Yeah, so rom-com bingo, fake breakup.
Charlie is got too nervous
Far too nervous now.
and has decided to cancel the relationship and is prepared to do his proper nail in the coffin of a relationship, which is the woman, whoa man, whoa
Man.
Yeah, so it's an oddly effective beat poetry scene because he tells her to fuck off and she goes, why? Why? Give me a reason. And he's halfway to saying, because I think you're going to kill me. And he sort of goes, I think you're going to leave me. You're going to cleave me. That's what you're going to do. You're going to cleave me. It's like, the answer to that is yes. That's exactly what he's afraid of. She's going to cleave him in twain. That's what's going to happen.
Considering what tools she has access to, that is completely legit.
Yeah. I do love that that woman. Whoa man. She was a thief.
Yeah.
You gotta believe. She stole my heart and my cat. Betty, Judy, Josie, and those hot pussycats. It's just the fact that it goes on in terrible, terrible beat poetry,
It's
but
the last.
it's perfect for it.
Unlike other beat poetry, which is good beat poetry, evidently.
I want to be Betty's Barney. Jane, get me off
Off
this crazy thing
called
called love.
No, he asks it. Jane, get me off this crazy thing called love. Oh my god, it's so bad. Again,
it
this
just reminds
band-
me of the one in. Sorry to just break for a second. It just still reminds me of the one in Family Guy. I left my poems at home.
That's great.
I just love that bit.
I mean, it does sound that way, doesn't it?
It's not as good as the slam poetry in 22 Jump Street, but let's move swiftly on with this movie.
But yeah, bonus points for a sincere beat poetry scene. I've legit never seen that. Like, it came across as sincere and lovely, which is great. But rom-com bingo, I'll win her back with music.
Yep.
Well, that's why I mean it's different. The only difference for this Woman version is he doesn't blow the candle out at the end, which is which signifies the end of the relationship.
Side note, his bandmates are really loyal. And like they show up on time. I can barely get musicians to show up on time when they're paying for the studio time. It's crazy.
They're probably just living in the coffee shop.
Maybe. Is that also where she lives though? Because like, anyway, like they go like, okay. So listen, I need you to take your double bass and your drum kit, and I need you to bring it onto the roof. Can you do that for me?
That's why I enjoy playing the harmonica, because if I'm ever in a band and I have to carry my instruments, I'm done.
Well, that and a mic, yeah.
No, somebody else will have one of those. Plus, I can just blow really loudly. It's fine.
That's what I've heard.
We've heard stories.
And graffiti on urinary walls.
I've not read any of that.
You know what I meant.
Urinal.
Urinal. So yep. Then we get the this poem sucks.
Yes, it does, Charlie. Yes, it does.
But
that gets a smile out of her, going like, "I love this self-aware idiot.
Yeah.
This is great."
They reunite, and then they go to dinner for Charlie's parents' 30th anniversary.
Not before rom-com bingo, bath and candles.
Oh yes.
Have you ever taken a bath with another human being?
Once, it didn't go well.
It is one of the most uncomfortable and very close.
And after a while, you're like, I actually do need to wash things.
Like, so, as sexy as this is, there's an extra body in here now. I don't have room. You don't have room. I do kind of want to wash myself.
I mean, in that bathroom, that is. Well,
you couldn't do it in our bathroom.
And ultimately, really, you've just got to ask your mother to leave. I mean, it's just weird otherwise.
Anyway,
yes.
So we're introduced to Ralph.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know whether the naked bit was improvised, because he comes out in a towel, and he's like, "This is Ralph, this is great, I'm going to hug you while toweling." And then when the towel falls down, everyone on set just starts cracking up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know whether this is improvised. I hope it was.
It's just the delivery of, "And I'm naked, aren't I?"
And I'm naked, aren't I?
And there's like an uncomfortably close-up on him, but then there's also the far shot, which is what makes me think that this has got to be improvised, where like Ralph sort of reaches down and grabs a handful of ass.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, again, Harriet is cracking the fuck up, right? This is one of those moments where I'm like, not sure if improvised, but legit funny.
Ralph was Sarah Connor.
Who knew?
The whole time.
The whole time.
The whole time, Sarah Connor was Ralph.
Yeah. That's what she has to hide, otherwise the T-1000 will get her.
Yeah, so this puts his mind at ease a bit. Then he's super happy to meet this person, because he's like, I was just being paranoid. This is great. This might work. This is,
This is the Ralph.
This is the Ralph. This is all good.
Like all of the things that have been built up, it's like, oh, well, one thing was coincidental. Maybe everything else is also coincidental. I mean, there's a lot of people.
It's the way my mind works. I look to push women away. I've been looking at these things. Yeah. So you think, yeah, no, cool. That's all right. Yeah.
And then we get another scene with Stu just being Stu.
Oh, it's brilliant.
And it's just like, everyone, happy anniversary. Shut up!
Shut up.
Happy anniversary. Shut up! Like, beautiful. I love that. Because I would also be like, you're just singing the word happy over and over.
Some of you are there. Some of you weren't even born. And some of you are dead.
Some of you are dead. But we got married 30 years ago, and we've not agreed on anything since.
We said I do 30 years ago.
That's I just said I do 30 years ago, and we've not agreed on anything since.
Yeah, so rom-com bingo, marriage proposal at a wedding anniversary.
Yeah?
But wait, she said no? That's weird. Wait, oh, no, it's okay. Charlie's dad proposed a toast, and this is what convinced her.
Yeah.
She was convinced by a toast, which, fair enough. I mean, she was on the fence anyway.
Get a girl drunk enough, and she liked toast.
To be fair, I've been convinced quite a bit by toast in the past.
Sweet buttery toast.
But then, of course, we skip forward
the next time I need to propose a toast, I'm just going to bring a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say, I propose a toast, and lift up my loaf.
I propose some toast.
I propose some toast.
It works. Then we skip the whole arranging a wedding and getting the guests.
Yeah, but
Right,
just
so
saying
what you're
that-
going to have to do, girls, is you're going to have to hold onto the sword,
Yeah.
and that's going to be glowing. This one's not glowing.
The slightly, do you know what I love about it? It's the slightly effete nature of you planning imaginary weddings in fictitious and science fiction movies. I think needs to become a bit. I think
think that's
see
what
you
we're doing,
plan
dear.
the wedding between Bowser and Princess Peach. Well, you
Oh
can't
my
have
God.
too much lava. Okay, Yuki, you're a big scary dinosaur man. You can have some lava. It's just the way he does it. I love it. It's got to be a
Look,
thing.
you can have as much lava as you want, but it costs per liter.
I see, fucking
I
brilliant, man.
don't know whether
buy
you
it by
have it
the
in the
gallon.
budget.
And these big bullets flying around. I don't know what you're trying to say, but penis envy.
Those are my guests! Oh, yes, right.
But-
Sorry.
But like what you were saying is, it's got to have that obligatory time jump from
No.
you know.
Sapient bullets. That's horrifying. Anyway,
Good name for a
lava.
band.
Lava. Sapient bullets. Yeah,
But
that's-
then we're at the wedding.
the wedding.
yeah.
Everybody's in kilts.
And in the true,
Except for the
Mackenzie
bride,
time.
who is in
A
something
lovely
similar.
long floral dress.
Yeah, so
and
the,
looking like what the
Fuck.
looking like she's being
Yeah.
like held married against her will the entire time.
yeah, the idea. I guess we can go into that at the end because
Yeah.
there's a reason that she looks like that,
Mhm.
and there's a reason that her character sort of changes a little bit and becomes a bit colder, a bit more concerned, worried, afraid,
Distant,
distant,
slightly.
certainly, yeah. So again, the film's use of silence is astoundingly
Yeah.
good because there's a good couple of seconds there where there's not even any coughing, and then it's sort of it's that thing where
Waiting
you're
for her to say I do.
yeah, you're waiting for her to say I do, which she takes a little bit too long to say. But then there's sort of coughing and whatnot.
Mm.
But you know how you don't immediately become aware of coughing until there's a big ol' silence?
yeah,
And suddenly everyone is like, well, this is my time,
yep.
right? So,
But they get married.
also, is that Scotland the Beautiful at a wedding? Is that a normal thing to have at a wedding? I don't know Scottish weddings.
You've been to more Scottish weddings than I have.
It's the one that starts
Looking as he looks-
that one, whatever.
It-
Or is it? I don't know.
It's a weird. It's the same thing where they play certain Irish songs at Irish weddings as well. It's to remind people of where you're from. Even if
okay.
you're actually there, you've got to be reminded of where you're from.
Okay.
So yeah, Scotland the Beautiful. Yes, it does get played at a few Celtic weddings.
So leopard skin bagpipes are pretty fucking baller.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. Yeah.
If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, come on, baby, let me know.
Also, props to Mike Myers for like he actually can sing, and he's having to not sing well.
Yeah.
It's bizarrely difficult to do if you're that trained at singing. Because
to
you're
get it wrong.
so like to get it deliberately off pitch. It's like asking someone to ride a bicycle backwards. You're like, but I've learned how to do this. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And he still occasionally like rests on a note that's perfect, and you're like, not quite. But this is the days before autotune, where you could just pitch it out.
Well,
if you wanted to.
there's an English comedian as well called Les Dawson that used to play the piano, and he was classically trained.
Sure.
But one of his skits, as it were, was he'd come out in the tux and sit down in front of the piano and everything, and he'd announce to the audience he was going to play a wonderful piece of classical music, and he would proceed to slaughter it. And it's it's said you've got to be really, really good to do something.
There's a specific way that
Badly.
you can slaughter it.
Yeah,
That is funny.
But unfortunately, there was a piper down.
as a piper down, a piper down. That's all
we
right.
have a piper down. I repeat, a piper.
Piper down.
A piper is down. Right?
It's all right.
right.
It's just pissed.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
that's the
that's like-
greatest thing at the end of the wedding, which is one of our favourite lines.
yeah.
Let's get pissed.
Yeah. So I've said it about other films before. I'll say it about this one. Also starring San Francisco's skyline.
Yep.
Yep, that happens.
It's a great, like they got some great shots. I don't know if it was a stock company or something, or whether they were just like, well, we have the
I know
helicopter.
the intros. I know the intro stock footage.
Well, I know the interstock, but I mean, for some of the other stuff, yeah, they probably went, look, we're here. It looks beautiful. Why not get some of it on film?
This is like pre-drone too, so they had
Yeah.
to like rent a helicopter and put a camera in the helicopter,
Yeah.
which is always kind of great.
But Charlie and his friend and his tech friends have a chat, and he's just like, "I can't believe you were so worried." I mean,
And then she starts singing the song in 6 languages.
she starts
Yes,
singing "Only
Only
You" in
You.
multiple languages, which is the signature piece of the Russian who
Yeah.
who died. At
And they look at
first.
each other like, "How did you ever think this girl was a murderer?" And they have this moment of looking at each other like, "Nah,
Nah,
come on,
she
this
can't be.
can't."
Come on.
that's too whatever. Like,
That's
we know
a cool-
that she speaks languages, whatever, right?
Well, the conversation they have at Alcatraz is like, I'm sorry, I've not had the conversation if you can sing only you. We're not at that point of our relationship yet that we've had the discussion if you can sing only you in different languages.
Does she even know only... I love that his objection was like, does she even know how to sing only you? Yeah, that's a weird objection. And he was right to call that out.
Oh, yeah, completely.
But yeah, rom-com bingo, show of affection in a vehicle that nearly ends in disaster.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of my favorite tropes.
Yeah, so also the police captain now has a wildly different character
Yeah.
and starts yelling at him over and over, at the end of which he comes back
Charlie
in.
got a phone call earlier saying that the Ralph, a woman had come forward to be the killer of Ralph. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons that he got back with Harriet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's revealed that that woman was crazy because she also killed Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. Who else was it? Abraham Lincoln and...
I can't remember.
remember.
Julius Caesar.
Oh,
Yeah.
Julius Caesar.
Yeah. She's a nutcase.
Mm.
A nutcase.
Yeah, this is yelled by the formerly best boss in the world with the mug to prove it, man.
Yeah.
Right? And after he's done yelling at him and chewing out his guy comes back in and says, "That was great, thank you." I was like, man, you really don't think that was a little too much? No, I think it was great. Oh, okay, I think it gives him acting notes, like direction notes on how he
just comes back. Thank you for being the mean police chief I wanted.
He's even better a manager than I thought because he had a subordinate who told him, "I really prefer to be managed in this particular style. I wonder if you can do it." And he's like, "I think I can try." Right? Like, I love this guy. If you're management training, you should watch this movie and do what this man does.
The black lady cop who's on the desk, like the uniformed officer.
Yeah, she's great.
That's Monique. That's the stand-up.
Yeah.
Oh, you're kidding. Cool.
Monique, which was lovely to see, and very much skinnier. I'm used to her with the short blonde hair, telling me about her vagina. She does go a lot about her vagina in her stand-up. Let's be fair. But
bloody funny though.
Oh, she's hilarious. We are entering our final act.
So it turns out that she might actually be a murderer due to previous scene. And that's a weird twist to have happen this late.
Yeah.
Because normally you twist sort of halfway through the second act, but this is like
definitely entering
late.
the third act.
Yeah.
But this isn't even a twist. This isn't even the twist, is the funny bit.
Well, this is what I like about the pacing of this movie as well, is because it starts to build up of, maybe she's maybe she's an axe murderer. Oh no, it's just my brain is the way I treated people. Oh look, they got married, everything's okay, time for the honeymoon. And then, as Paul said, then this twist comes up, and you're like, whoa!
But here's the thing:
quite late in the day for doing this. You know what I mean? Which
brings me to my thing about this movie. It is not a rom-com, despite the bingo game.
Yeah,
this is a whodunit.
Oh,
this is a whodunit, but nothing's happened yet. Right? And it's only a whodunit because the title is getting insane mileage in the story.
It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
I have never seen a title of a movie have this much mileage. Never. Right? I cannot think of any other circumstance, but granted, I've not seen a lot of movies. This is thus the segment. But I'm shocked and amazed, and I'm like, this is Shakespearean level of amazing.
It's brilliant.
Like, I don't mind saying this is the kind of shit Shakespeare pulled in his dramas. I'm like, this is cool. this is what brings me to the cinema. This is what brings me to the movies. I love
particularly
this.
Romeo and Ethel, a pirate's daughter.
Okay. What?
Oh, have you not?
No.
No. It's from Shakespeare in Love.
No, I haven't.
He's trying to write his greatest love story.
Please don't add that to the one for Paul.
Oh, no, don't. Really? Because it's actually bloody good.
Is it actually good?
It's actually, I really enjoy it.
Okay.
You've not seen
I've seen it, but I wouldn't say it's great.
I liked it.
Anyway.
Anywho, moving.
Having said that, I love The Room, so you can't really judge me.
Yeah.
I mean, did you actually like it, or did you like it ironically?
No, I genuinely love that movie. I love how bad it is. I love that movie for how terrible it is. I can watch it all the live long day, including the free sex scenes in 12 minutes.
So the pilot is far too relaxed. The pilot is far too relaxed.
Oh, that's actually brilliant.
Oh, we've jumped ahead.
Have we?
Oh,
all
yes.
Right.
Yes.
Charlie and that are on their way on their honeymoon. They arrive to the old beatnik hotel that was, so Charlie gets there.
Yeah.
On that drive, he has found out that on that drive, obviously, there's also a storm rolling in. Of course, there's a storm rolling in. So,
which he's initially super hype about.
Because it's a nice story. Like, we can get all nice and cozy
nice and
by
cuddly.
the fire, which ideally is nice. I can see why he's trying to be romantic and everything. But as they all go to dinner and everything's happy. Charlie is noticing that Harriet's acting weird, like looking for paracetamol, or having a headache and stuff like that.
Well, no, she does aspirin, but also, which by the way, never take for a headache. It's not what you need to take for a headache.
Oh, I'm aware of this.
Yeah,
but
yeah, she goes like, "Is there a drugstore near here? I need some aspirin."
Yeah,
as an afterthought. Who is that guy at the desk? Was he in something else later?
He's been in bits and pieces, but I'm not overly familiar with him off the top of my nog.
Anyway, I think something was familiar about him, like a younger or whatever, and I'm like, oh man, cool. So this is where like a bunch of these films, I guess, started off a bunch of these guys.
Well, yeah, this is what I was saying. Is it's really, really cool that you look at this cast, and for a lot of the younger actors in it, it did start their
because you look at it now and you're like, man, everyone's in this, and you're like, wait, they were nobody at the time.
Yeah, so one of my favorite actresses is in this, and it's Debbie.
Not Carrot Top, it's Patrick Bristow, you liar.
I thought it was Carrot Top.
No.
Well, yeah,
so was right.
One of my favorite actresses is Debbie. I'm going to probably mispronounce her surname, but Mazar, and she was most recently in Happy as the crime boss's sister.
Greg German is the concierge. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
And she plays Susan, and this was like she plays Susan in this. So I Married an Axe Murderer, Debbie Mazar. But like she went on from this to lots and lots and lots of stuff. And as I was saying, like most recently she was in Happy. So she's had a really, really good career. I think this was like only her second feature.
Deborah Meza, she was, and she had
because she was in Empire Records as well.
So the pilot is far too relaxed.
So you've done this before. Oh, yeah.
Never at night.
Never at night. That line, you're just like, what the fuck?
That's the artificial horizon. It's better than the real horizon.
It's better than the real horizon.
Legitimately true. Legitimately, because the problem in a plane with a horizon is like, I've flown small planes. The problem with looking at the horizon is if you aim your thing at the horizon, you're above the horizon. Yeah. So you're aiming down.
It's the curvature of the Earth, kids, and for all you people out there who believe the Earth is flat, it's not.
Hey, people around the globe believe that.
Yeah, they do.
Say that slowly.
God, that was the best tweet. Anyway, so what I found funny about this is that it's a legit, like the pilot knows what he's talking about, but he's expressing it in a way that makes people panic.
I love it. I love that.
Well, he's a stand-up comedian. I can't remember the guy's name, but one of my favourite jokes of his is, I poured spot remover on my dog, and now he's gone.
That's Steve Wright.
Steve Wright.
Yeah. So we're back at the hotel, and Harriet is creepily following her husband. And we know it's creepy because the music got all creepy.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we know it's creepy. With different music, that's like I hope he comes back. Right?
Yeah, you could play like some forlorn love lost music there, and it's like she's missing him, and it would be nice and sweet. But yeah, the audio cues in this as well are brilliant.
This whole scene, this whole section, the whole third act is all sound design.
It's marvelous.
It's all sound design, and I love it. I think this is a good case study for anybody who's interested in the effect of sound on cinema, which is sort of where I'm at.
Yeah,
I think it's masterful in a lot of ways. So they're in this weird place where, evidently, in the dining room of the hotel, everybody is there getting married or on their anniversary, and they insist on having everyone dance together.
Yes.
It's a weird...
Like the guests. Like, here, you, guest, dance with this other guest. Go, please do it. Also, as you get this phone call that says, she's definitely Mrs. X and is going to murder you tonight, he goes, oh no, fuck! And then they get put in this chair, the honeymoon chair, which they bring out, like... yeah, you know those old like 1930s movies where it's like the cannibals were bringing people somewhere.
Yeah,
those sort of like quite
like
racist.
Of eyes, yeah,
those sort of things. Yeah, so they bring that out in like identical fucking shots, right? Yeah. And it's like, here, just sit in the creepy fucking chair and have like the crowd of people escort you to your fucking. It's like that. Who stays here? This is a beat hotel.
Well, at the turn of the century, beat poets used to go there, but it's I think it's one of those things. It's a hotel with weird traditions. And on your if you're there for your honeymoon,
it's going to be celebrated because everybody loves love.
I don't love love,
but I
like my own love. I don't like other people's.
They make their way up to the room. Charlie's trying to convince the concierge to join them for a drink.
Yeah, just join us for a drink.
Yeah, the 90s were a different time.
Charlie rushes to the room, locks the door.
It's the panic.
And the panicking, and he's worried and everything. And then he sees a note on the desk.
No, he doesn't yet, because first, Buddy has to commandeer a vehicle.
Oh, my bad. I thought I was after
Well,
this.
he needs to, but it's like, I'd like to emphasis on the like, I'd like to
San
commandeer your
Francisco
vehicle.
police, I'm going to commandeer this vehicle. Well, I happen to know that you actually legally can't do that. So
Well, you're allowed
no.
to ask.
You're allowed to
right?
ask. No. But please?
You're
No.
not go-
You're really not going to let me commandeer this vehicle?
And this is after a whole section where he's like, I've never commandeered a vehicle. I've never
Hung
jumped out of a helicopter.
I've never hung off that thing on the bottom of a helicopter. You know the thing underneath.
Yeah,
the thing
I know the
underneath,
thing.
you know?
The feet.
The feet.
Yeah, the feet of the helicopter. God, that guy's great. And very kindly, I think, because he didn't have to, he gives the cop a ride, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's Rose.
Oh, yeah, basically, Charlie now discovers a note saying that he's leaving Harriet, not in his handwriting, shockingly.
Shock.
And then it's revealed as an axe swings down to the phone that Rose is trying to kill Charlie.
Yes.
And Rose is Mrs. X.
Yeah. So, well, no, Mrs. X is the wife of whatever.
Yeah, no, as in she's the murderer.
She's the murderer.
Yeah, I
Rose
got
is
it.
the
But so
murderer.
technically she is Mrs. X.
Oh, yeah, as the... Yeah.
So that's the big misdirection in this, is you start to think it is actually Harriet, and it's not.
No, Rose, who is Rose's sister, who's always worried about.
This is the kooky one, what with
Yeah,
the cereal and whatnot.
the kooky sister from earlier on who doesn't know, who has a thing for Apple Jacks.
Yeah, so she lives with her sister, and she's going to kill anybody who tries to break out of this sort of status quo that she's got, because she knows that if her sister gets married, she's going to leave, and that's
Yeah.
going to change things, and she doesn't want things to change. So her solution to this, quite cleverly, I think, is to kill people.
That's simple. Keep it
Simple and
stupid.
effective, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worked so far.
But that's also gives us why Harriet is so nervous to marry, is because she's been married 3 times before.
And like
her
every
husband's
one of her
divorced.
husbands. So she's
Yeah.
super fucking on edge.
Yeah, I would be as well. to be
Rom-com,
Yeah.
rom-com bingo. Communication could have solved this shit. Just have a conversation. You are engaged to be married. You're not going to say, so, oh, have you been married before? Like that? That comes up on the paperwork and shit.
Oh, by the way, yeah.
By the way,
3
all
times?
of my husbands
and they're all
die.
dead.
In mysterious circumstances.
But it depends just how hot the woman.
Mysterious circumstances.
It would depend just how hot. To me, it would depend just how hot the woman is.
Well, to you, obviously.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I have an idea. Let's not let the martial arts expert out of the cupboard. Let's also not leave through the door. Instead, let's leave through the window onto the roof. That's a much more dramatic option.
Yeah. Always go for the dramatic option.
Yeah, so Charlie's about to die, but he won't break a window
Nope.
because the
Because he's
window's
Canadian and they're
closed.
very polite people.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't.
Also because it's
That's someone's window,
the
man.
it's the Beatnik Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
They
Doesn't wanna
really
just- yeah.
doesn't want to destroy the landmark.
Or maybe he's just like, well, I'm not going to break a window. I'm not a fucking animal.
Also, it's a dramatic end to a movie, so
Yeah.
Yeah. If that was me, I would have thrown one of you two through the window. But hey, it's me.
Officer seen here irresponsibly discharging a firearm indoors.
obviously.
He fires it straight up, and
That's
Mike is
one
almost
of the things
there.
he's always wanted to do.
Yeah, fire a gun into the air. So he's just checking stuff off his bucket list while he's putting the public in peril.
Well, we've all been there.
Yes.
Officer can't hear the obvious axe noises over his own internal monologue, which he's
Because he's
clearly
still
been...
convinced Harriet is Mrs. X
Yeah.
and is not listening to the
Yeah,
fact
but-
she's telling him that her sister is trying to kill Charlie on the roof.
While they're hearing yelps and thumping on the roof. He's got an
if I heard
internal
screams-
script.
If I heard screams and a thump like and a repetitive thumping like noise in a hotel, I wouldn't bat so many eyelids.
Yeah.
From the roof?
Hey,
Some people like it free and easy out in the open. We're not here to judge.
I am here to judge. That is an
I can't be
unsafe
the only
way to
person
do
at this
that.
table who's had sex on a roof, right?
No, I've had sex on a roof.
On a 30-degree sloped roof?
Mine was more of a 45-degree angle.
Well, it does help.
All right. I mean, not my thing.
You do have to take a run up, but still.
Oh my god, Dan. Oh my god, you're going.
Doctor.
You're going to the special hell.
Yeah.
You're going to the special hell.
Of course. The one with
But-
my name written
but-
on the door.
Luckily,
Surprisingly roomy.
Charlie manages to trip Rose off to the roof, and she's caught by Joe,
Yeah.
and is then subsequently arrested. And then we hear the last beat poem of the movie, which ties up to Charlie performing a song for Harriet at the bar that we started.
Yeah.
The last gag, though, is the groin kick to a woman is a punchline. The 90s were a different time.
They were a
Yes.
very different time.
Because she kicks him in the groin, and he kicks her back in the groin, and she sort of looks at him going, What?
But that would still hurt.
it would probably still smart, but like maybe not from
the
him.
sea punt is definitely a thing.
It's a beautiful
yeah, we gotta-
flower. Looks like somebody shot a gun off inside of you.
Oh my god.
Love you, sir. But
So you got the beat poetry finale,
and then there she goes again.
far
Yep.
too much applause for what he just performed.
But it's the end of the movie. It's to give you it's to give you a triumphant feeling of
Somebody's
you
trapped in the
survived.
well.
That is So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yeah. So you can see why we like that as a cult film.
I can see why you like that as a film, for Christ's sake.
Cool,
Like,
man.
That's a
Yeah,
good movie.
that's the thing. But there's some people that watch that and go, I don't get it. But then there's other people like me and Carl bonded over it. You talk to somebody and go, have you seen So I Married an Axe Murderer? And they'll instantly either quote a line of dialogue at you or do an action that Mike Myers does, where other people just go, nah.
I mean, I admit the first act had me a little, is this
Yeah.
funny? I don't know if it's funny yet. And it took me a second watch to be like, no,
It
okay,
does-
I know what
yeah,
I'm watching
It does
now.
find its groove
I
in a
attribute-
second and third watch.
Yes.
I attribute this movie to a Johnny Cash song. It builds
Yeah.
slowly.
I could see people sort of not getting grabbed by it immediately.
Oh no! You have to have at least 20 minutes of patience with this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, the opening is not strong.
No.
I don't think the opening is very strong. They throw a lot of information at you. The gags at the beginning are not terribly funny. The how are you dressed joke only sort of works if you've previously set up the character straight-laced. Otherwise, it's just like, he's a weird dude,
Yeah.
right? If that's your intro to the character,
If
is
they
a
could
gag
see
in
him
which he's
There
unusually dressed for him.
There was considerable rewrites on this.
Yes, there was supposed to be. You were supposed to meet Charlie Charlie was supposed to meet him at the police station and walk to.
Oh, I see. That would have
Yeah.
made more sense.
Yeah.
I would have kept in.
So he would have
something
come
like
out
that.
of the police station in that getup, but
Even in that beginning montage, just have a shot of him walking out in the clothes.
I can honestly tell you, gentlemen, this is definitely one of those movies that I recommend to people when people put up the status, I've got nothing to watch. Could you recommend anything?
Definitely.
I do
Definitely.
often
I
recommend
always say
this.
this one, yeah. But talking about the rewrites, just quickly, Mike Myers rewrote the majority of the script with a friend of his from
shows.
England called Neil Malarkey. Like generally, his surname was Malarkey, which I love. But he got no credit because the other writer, whose name Robbie
Brookside?
something, who wrote this
It's
originally.
not going to be Robbie Brookside. He's a British wrestler.
He argued with the studio to keep his name in place. So Neil Malarkey got no credit. But as Paul was saying, like the first part of it, that doesn't have a lot of Mike Myers influence in it. It's as
I
they
see.
kind of wrote it on the fly, so you can tell there's some bits that match. And
Well, I
some
can
bits don't.
definitely tell the strongest bits of this movie are the bits where the director was able to slightly rein in Mike Myers and
Yeah.
choose the right bits and give him just enough freedom to where they got something good,
Yeah.
but not so much freedom that you end up in a Ghostbusters situation.
Oh God, no.
Like that was a big problem where the director at some point should have said, "No,
Okay,
we're doing
ladies,
it my
you've
way.
gotta do it this
Like
way.
I have a vision and we're going to do it. Not I have funny people, let them go." Because then, if you've ever been in a room with more than one comedian at once, you know that jokes just keep going
And going,
until they
and going.
sleep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know. I've been in a room with him.
Yeah, you mean we're comedians?
Hello.
Pretty funny.
I think so.
I've done some stand up.
It's
long
funny-
Time ago.
I've done stand up as well.
It's funny that I think I'm funny.
You are funny.
So
Dave.
I have a tight 5 minutes.
My my impression, I liked this movie. I really did. I had a lot of fun with it. Parts of it were dated. I didn't think the first act was particularly strong. I don't think it led with its best foot forward. But acts 2 and 3, it grabbed me in a way that I really liked. I thought that it was super clever. I
Yeah.
didn't realize it was a whodunit. If you had told me that, I'd be like, "What the fuck?"
If we had told
If
you
we
that,
told you that, you would have probably
you'd
got
spent
the
the whole
game-
movie in a different.
Yeah.
I sort of did in a way, because occasionally I'd be like, "This is," but he married an axe murderer, so he's going to marry someone, I think, or someone's going to marry someone. At
But
one
again,
point,
that,
I thought
as
maybe
you were
like,
saying, the length of run and mileage it gets out of
Yeah,
that
yeah,
title. Because I was told, like, not necessarily it was a whodunit, but it's like a mystery kind of thing. When before I watched it first, and somebody went, "Oh yeah, and watch out for his sister. Watch out for her sister."
Oh, no,
And that
you
was
don't
it. As soon
say
as you see
that.
Rose,
No, you don't say
yeah,
that.
but as soon as you see Rose, like, "Oh, she's kooky, she's kooky." I went, "Yeah, she's probably going to be the."
so let's just
but I still
quarantine
enjoyed the movie.
Let's quarantine that as you don't mention anything about the
Oh,
sister
yeah, no.
if you're doing your spoiler hygiene with someone who's never
Yeah.
seen this. wash your talk, guys.
But one of my favorite things about this as well is that this was originally written for Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase, Martin Short.
Sure, Woody Allen had a look at it, and so did Albert Brooks. So can you imagine? I think it would have been a very different movie. I would think it would be actually less funny with Chevy Chase, and not because Chevy Chase isn't funny now.
No, he's not funny now.
Well, he's not funny now, no. But
I think it's a different kind of you would have got a very different movie.
yeah, definitely.
How did this movie do commercially, though?
Not great.
particularly well. It made its money back, but
Yeah.
it
But again, on
mixed
rewatches and on
mixed reviews from critics.
Mixed reviews. It's another one of these sort of big China situations where, like, for the first couple of years, nobody, and then it got a VHS thing. Or
I was about to say, it found those lovely 3 little letters that have saved so many cult movies. VHS.
I haven't seen a lot of like merchandise
then
for this.
DVD, then Blu-ray.
Like, what would you even do for merchandise? Like the giant cup?
Probably the giant cup.
I think that's
that head dune on a t-shirt.
Promotional haggis?
or just a picture of an orange on a toothpick. That's our T-shirt. We're gonna make that.
Around the world,
Yeah.
Through around the world, whatever that logo is. The weekly news
Could do subtle stuff like that.
I would do on a t-shirt a flyer for a Scottish martial arts club.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
That would be pretty good. Yeah. And just like those images of like the judo guy throwing somebody.
Yeah.
This would just be a guy with like
No, same image, but with a kilt and a pint in his hand.
better than that. You remember the years and years ago there was a Zidane thing where he headbutted a dude on the field.
Yeah.
And somebody made that into like him being a Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
That.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
That's fuck you.
No, for me it'll have to be it would be the Pentaveret. With like the pictures that he mentions, and then with for Colonel Sanders just a sticker over it saying before he went tits up.
So if you'd like us to make one of those shirts for you, let us know and we'll make it happen.
Yeah,
I think
tweet
there's
us.
only one last question we have to ask you. You've got 2 choices.
Sure.
And this is from the last episode for your next one.
This is the next one for Paul?
Yes.
Excellent.
We can either go classic or quite modern. You can either choose Howard the Duck or Thor Ragnarok.
Oh,
both comic book movies, both set in the Marvel Universe, so there is at least an underlying theme. But because you said you haven't seen Ragnarok, it will, after I'll talk about the Grandmaster and kept going about Jeff Goldblum, he only knows 3 things in this life.
He only knows 4 things, one of which is that he knows those 3 things.
Yes.
He only knows 5 things, one of which is that he knows those 4 things.
Let's not open up that particular can of worms. And Howard the Duck, because you didn't realise it was a George Lucas directed movie after Star Wars.
I didn't realize there was a Howard the Duck.
Yes.
I don't know who this guy is.
Howard the Duck is an anthropomorphized duck from the Marvel Universe.
Oh.
Which Dan owns his first issue.
I do, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Carl got it for me for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so this is a tough decision. I've been meaning to watch Ragnarok for a while, but Howard the Duck sounds funny. We just did a comedy, and this is a guy. Is it an anthropomorphized duck? I'm going to imagine it's a comedy.
Let's just say Jim Henson was involved.
Oh, fuck. Now I want to watch a Henson picture. Damn it, this is a hard... Let's go with Ragnarok. Let's go Ragnarok, and we can do Howard the Duck another time.
Marvellous.
So, yes, you can follow us on Twitter at _PopCulturePod. You can follow us on Instagram at _PopCulturePod. You can follow us Facebook at PodPopCulture. You can follow me on Twitter at Harpline1989.
Follow me on Twitter at Dan Blues.
Booze.
And I'm not on Twitter.
And don't follow Paul, because he knows fuck you.
But yeah, so join us next week for our round of the news, where I have literally a title of a movie that will make me think that Dan wished really, really hard.
See, I'm so intrigued because you won't tell me.
Just the title and the lead actor alone makes me think Dan has wished really, really hard.
So I've been deliberately not looking at the news in case I spot what he's talking about. So when we do the next show,
that's going to make a news show
I might be thicker than usual, kids. So enjoy that.
I might tell him beforehand, but to be honest with you, I'm excited for it.
But Northern Gravy.
Again, join us in 2 weeks when we sit down as Paul. The one for Paul will be Thor Ragnarok.
I've been Dan.
I've been Carl.
I've been Paul.
Peace. I went to the baker's the other day. I was going to buy a wasp. He says we don't sell wasps. You got one in your window.
Are you recording this?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's brilliant.